Hey everybody, I wanted to take a few moments today to discuss gender and sexual orientation from a sociological perspective, particularly a functionalist perspective. Gender identity and non-normative sexual orientations have been at the forefront of many local, state, and national debates for quite a while now, and particularly in the last few months we've been seeing more of these pop up. It's very easy to find people on both sides of the debate, often utilizing moral positions to support whatever side they buy into. For instance, those on the religious right argue that marriage should only be between a man and a woman. Moreover, many in this group agree with the legislation states like Mississippi and North Carolina have recently passed that only allow transgender individuals to use the bathroom that aligns with how they were born, not how they identify sexually. So regardless of that plumbing that they might have. On the other hand, you may have liberal Democrats saying that everyone should be treated equally no matter their gender or sexual orientation. These are often framed as ascribed statuses, which one has little, if any, control over, much like our race. We don't have any control over what race we're born. There's a great deal of scientific evidence supporting this latter claim. Nonetheless, both sides might be missing an important piece of the puzzle. I used to show a map in a lot of my classes of the states in our country that had legalized same-sex marriage. I no longer have to do this, as this law was federally legalized this past summer. And when it happened, everyone was worried, everyone was up in arms. Did the world come to an end? No. Did anyone's life who was against this law, did it actually change significantly? No, probably not. Was a group that was previously denied full access to numerous aspects of social life granted this access? Yes. So functionally speaking, here's why this is important. I don't care who gets married or for what reason. Doesn't matter. We live in a capitalist country, which means money often has the loudest voice. Or at the very least, those with a lot of financial capital have the power to alter positions of others by using that money. So, there's some situations here we can discuss. First of all, simply put, weddings, no matter who's getting married, they create jobs. We're pumping more money into our economy. This is a good thing. Spaces must be rented, caterers, dressmakers, tuxedo shops, florists, bands, and DJs, and a number of other people will be hired in each instance. Taking morality or politics out of the equation, this is good for our economy. Maybe you've heard of a cake shop that refuses to make a cake for a gay couple, or a dressmaker who will not alter or tailor a dress for a lesbian bride. Eventually, this may come back to bite them. If straight people who champion equal rights for homosexuals stop using the same services, the cake shops, the wedding decorators, and so on, they'll eventually go out of business, and they'll realize, well, look, there's been a shift in terms of how people are viewing gender and non-normative sexual identities, and if they don't make that shift also, they're going to be pushed out to the fringes, much like these other individuals have been pushed out to the fringes of our society for such a long time. We've already seen many entities refuse to do business in Mississippi and North Carolina. They're withdrawing and saying if you are going to treat people differently based off of something they don't really have control over, or not allowing them to identify in a way they see fit, we're not going to give you any of our money or provide jobs, maybe build have our companies based there. The loss of jobs and tax revenue will eventually force these states to revoke these religious freedom laws. By the way, federal law trumps any state law, which means these people are not necessarily legally protected by denying these services just because a state law has come in. They can still be prosecuted in a federal court. So in closing, we should always keep in mind that protecting the freedoms of some oftentimes means restricting or denying the freedom others might have. Homosexuals and transgender individuals remain a minority group in our country. A great deal of people still view these groups as engaging in deviant behavior, seeing them as fundamentally different. Consequently, they label them, they stigmatize them, and they can more easily push for legislation that maintains those subordinate positions within our larger society.